According to EORIO on February 3, 2025, the Armed Forces of the Philippines intends to acquire additional 155mm self-propelled howitzers in 2025, though no official confirmation has been made. The Philippine Army operates 12 Atmos 2,155mm self-propelled howitzers acquired from Israel's Elbit Systems. If confirmed, this potential acquisition is part of the Armed Forces of the Philippines (AFP) modernization program, which has faced funding. The Philippine Army's Atmos 2,000 units were procured through a government-to-government agreement with Israel for $40.8 million. The contract was finalized in early 2020, with deliveries completed in December 2021. The Army formed 2 batteries, each containing 6 howitzers, and assigned them to the 10th Field Artillery Battalion, activated in June 2022. The first operational deployment of the system occurred in 2024 during the Katahan Combined Arms Training Exercise, CATEX, at Camp O'Donnell. The howitzers were later integrated into Balikatan 24, a joint military exercise with U.S. forces at the La Paz sand dunes. The Atmos 2000 is an Israeli 155mm, 52 caliber self-propelled howitzer mounted on a 6x6 truck chassis. It has a maximum firing range exceeding 40 kilometers with extended range full-bore, base bleed, ERFBBB, projectiles, 30 kilometers with NATO L-15 high-explosive projectiles, and 24.5 kilometers with M107 high-explosive projectiles. The system can fire between 4 and 9 rounds per minute and is equipped with a computerized fire control system for target acquisition and aiming. It operates with a crew of 2 to 6 personnel. The Philippine Army's units use German MAN truck platforms, selected for their established maintenance and logistics support in the country. The Philippine Army operates multiple artillery systems in addition to the Atmos 2000, including the Soltam M71 155mm towed howitzer, M114A1 155mm towed howitzer, M101 and M102 105mm howitzers, and OTO Malara Model 56-pack howitzer. The Army also employs the Cardam 120mm self-propelled mortar system and various mortar models, including the M224 60mm and M69 81mm systems. Multiple launch rocket systems from South Korea were previously acquired, and the Army is evaluating additional long-range artillery options such as the K-239 Chunmoo pulse systems. The Armed Forces of the Philippines (AFP) modernization program is in its final phase, Horizon 3, approved in January 2024 with an estimated cost of $34 billion over 10 years. The 2025 budget allocates $4.353 billion to defense, a 6.4% increase from 2024. Of this amount, $850 million is designated for military modernization. However, only $595 million is guaranteed, while $680 million remains under unprogrammed appropriations, requiring excess revenue before release. This reliance on standby funds marks a shift from previous years when guaranteed funding exceeded unprogrammed allocations. The executive branch initially proposed $850 million for the AFP modernization program in 2025, but Congress realigned $255 million to unprogrammed appropriations. This contrasts with past budgets under the Duterte administration, where guaranteed funds ranged from $425 million to $493 million, and unprogrammed portions did not exceed $187 million. In 2024, none of the $170 million in unprogrammed funds for military modernization had been released as of September. Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro raised concerns in legislative hearings. while senators highlighted risks of delays in priority acquisitions. The AFP modernization program initially focused on internal security but has shifted toward external defense, particularly in response to maritime territorial disputes. The Philippine Army's procurement plans prioritize land-based missile systems, anti-aircraft weapons, and additional armored vehicles. The 2025 budget includes $3.475 billion for land, air, and naval forces, with $850 million allocated for modernization programs. The Philippine Coast Guard, involved in patrols and resupply missions in the South China Sea, will see a 6% budget increase to $534 million. Despite budget increases, reliance on unprogrammed appropriations affects acquisition timelines. Budget adjustments have already impacted several projects, including cyber systems, forward support equipment, and tactical combat vehicles. The AFP modernization program has expanded since 2018, with total funding increasing from $510 million to $1.275 billion by 2025. However, the share of unprogrammed funds has also risen from $85 million in 2018 to $680 million in 2025. The Philippine Army continues to evaluate procurement options for additional self-propelled howitzers, multiple launch rocket systems, and advanced air defense systems, with future acquisitions dependent on budget availability and revenue conditions.